this meeting to order. If you'd all stand and join us for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. All right, good morning. It's November 17th. This is the Broadwater County Commissioners' Business Meeting. It is 10 a.m. and thank you all for joining us. Just some standard housekeeping. Broadwater County does have a public meeting policy, also known as the civility policy, and we follow Robert's Rules of Order. The purpose of this policy is to open Broadwater County public meetings to all county residents. We realize we have a fiscal and fiduciary responsibility to conduct county business as efficiently as possible for all Broadwater County citizens. Commission meetings are recorded and are on YouTube, so please state your full name prior to any public comment for the record. Any separate conversations need to be removed from the meeting and conducted outside. Outbursts will not be tolerated. Public comment will give each citizen who wishes to speak an initial 3 minutes to do so, and all comments will be directed to the board chairman. So with that, do we have any public comment this morning? Public comment? All right. How about Montana Minute? Franklin, do you have anything good to say about our state or our county?
Well, kind of a follow-up what last week on the Butte native that shot bin Laden, you know, it's really been on the news. Fox News had 2 nights of it, and all the papers are full of it and everything, so it's a big thing, whether it's kind of tough on his safety, I would think, and some of them are kind of concerned about Butte being hit, you know, a terrorist target. But anyway, it's sure been making the news.
All right, thank you. I'm shocked by the weather. I got to spend the last week in California at Disneyland in 70-degree weather and got on the plane kicking and screaming yesterday. So
Don't forget the Bulldogs. I think they're going to win the state the way they're playing.
they are amazing. We were Googling it at Disneyland to see how they were doing. It's the only time we used our phone for anything other than finding our way around LA. So it was kind of nice to just be away, just recuperate, but also keep track of the Bulldogs. Thank you for that, Bill. Anyone else? Any more Montana minutes? All right. We will get on with our meeting. We have minutes from November 3 and November 10. These were sent out last week, the week before. We received the minutes the week before via email to make any suggested edits or double check spelling, that kind of thing.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, I'll second the motion. It's been moved and seconded to approve the minutes of November 3 and November 10, 2014. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. If you would please slide those back. Thank you. Next, before our first appointment, we have a couple of pieces of mail. This pertains to the agenda. This is a letter from Val that in speaking to the other departments, they did actually decide to fund the entire framing project together. So they no longer need the assistance of the commission. So that appointment for today is canceled, and that is at 11:45. Second, we have an open house invitation for December 5 from 4 to 8 p.m. from Great West Engineering. They did a good turn for Broadwater County in their review of the solid waste department and came in about, they quoted 11,000 and sent a bill for 8. So that doesn't happen very often.
What was that?
That was
8,000.
probably, when is the invitation or when was the project? I'm not sure your question, Franklin.
What project you talking about that was 8,000?
The solid waste review, that we have a engineering plan of the solid waste department. We all received a copy from Brian, I don't know, 9 months ago, a year ago, and that's what that project was. Next we have from the Montana Department of Transportation. This is local projects on designated state and federal highways, same map, and just an overview. And then finally, this is pertaining to the open waters of the U.S. issue from last week. I got nervous when I left for vacation that nothing had been submitted at that point, and we had a deadline of the 14th. So I did write a letter on behalf of Broadwater County, but just from me, since it wasn't vetted. With either you or Elaine, it was improper to put either of your names to the letter, but I wanted to make sure that Broadwater County had a voice on this issue. So here's a copy of that letter, and it was sent to both Major General John Peabody and the Honorable Gina McCarthy.
I sent one email. Elaine didn't make the conservation meeting, so I sent it to her, a letter that was
And why didn't you send one to me?
because you said you were going to be gone. Told me to go ahead for me and Elaine to take care of it.
You still can't send anything out without...
I didn't send it to anybody else. I
Franklin,
sent it to Elaine.
you need to send it to me. I am a commissioner as well. It is not your place to decide what I will read and will not read. You need to include me on these things. I am
You're the
one
one
of the
that sent for me
commissioners.
and Elaine to do it.
If for you to write the draft, yes.
Well, that's what I did. I sent it to her and never heard any more.
Franklin, that's not the issue. The issue is you need to send those drafts to the full commission, not just a picked commissioner. So Broadwater County did have a voice, and that's the letter that was sent out. And I would like an emailed copy of the letter you wrote, please. Deadline for that was last Thursday, the 14th. This letter went out Wednesday, the 13th. And if you could hand those back when you're done with them, Franklin, so we can put them in a pile to be on the record.
Secretary of State here doesn't show any projects here that I can tell.
Okay, next I have two,
It's just a page, actually.
two documents, one from the Montana Wool Growers Association, the other from Montana Stock Growers Association, and they just want to verify that we have received the funds, $1,055 for wool and $7,467 for stock growers. I would like a motion to go ahead and sign these documents.
I'll make a motion to sign.
Second the motion, it's been moved and seconded to sign receipt from the Montana Stock Growers Association in the amount of $7,467 and from the Montana Wool Growers Association in the amount of $1,055. All those in favor of the motion, please signify by saying aye. Was that an aye? I didn't hear you. Did you say
Yeah.
aye? Okay, aye, motion carries.
How you doing?
I seem to recall doing this before, but for
Short
some
one?
reason they wanted
Yeah.
it to be in
Go ahead and sit down there.
Franklin, the postcard, please. Hello, come on up. Next on the agenda is Doug Ellis and Joyce Irvin, Elections Administrator, Election Canvas.
We ran a
Thanks, Aaron.
canvas procedure off of the Secretary of State's website to make sure we were even doing this close to, with all of our, the sheets that we used to do them.
Okay,
Seeing that Elaine's not here, I had one thing on here that I saw.
Doug, could you speak up a little bit? I'm sorry.
Speak up a little bit.
All right,
You
I'll
wanna
try.
speak? Thanks.
It's a big report, but there was one that said, oh, okay, who conducts a canvas? County commissioners. There was one that said if one or more of the members of the governing body cannot attend the canvas, they may appoint another county officer, elected officer, or deputy to attend their place. And see, Elaine, it sounds like she's the one that has to do it though.
it does, and she's not,
Yeah.
not available. That's good to know. How about this? If there is a disagreement between the two of us, we will act on her behalf to appoint a deputy and just go through it all again.
Okay.
Otherwise, I don't see any reason there shouldn't be, and there hasn't in the past. So
Yeah, okay.
hopefully we won't enter into that realm.
All right. Joyce went in and
So far, everything's checked out.
printed some forms off the Secretary of State's website for the official canvas. It should make it a lot easier than the way we were doing it before, I think.
Excellent.
Did you keep the paper in there? The Secretary of State, yeah. I'll give that to you. Secretary of State's office also said that they have us do an audit, post-audit on one precinct, so they specify what precinct and everything to do that on.
Okay,
So we did it on the precinct 1, and what that entails is counting all precinct 1 by hand and tallying it. So that's what you have in front of you right there.
So we stayed Friday night,
Copy of that underneath.
4 people in my office, and counted precinct 1 by hand, just to make sure that what we count matches what the machines count.
That's basically what it is, to make sure that the machines are doing the job that it's supposed to be doing.
And we were one different than the machine, and I think what that was is there was one race that somebody had made them, it's like when you're going down the paper and you're kinda touching them with your pen to,
Oh.
and then you check the one you want. I think they
There's two.
had a,
Mhm.
yeah, pushed too hard on one of them, and the other one you could tell was who they wanted to vote for, and we counted it. I don't think the machine did. I think that's what,
As an overvote,
yeah,
and we didn't count it as an overvote.
yeah.
We turned
just
it
took
sideways
as a
so we knew, because we weren't sure how the machine was gonna count it. Well, that was the one we were off, so we were okay on it, because we should have counted it in the first place, because it looked like an overvote.
So what we did was one person, we had two people mark these,
Okay,
just to make sure our numbers matched. And then we had one person read the ballot and one person watch to make sure they were reading the right name.
and it's not all races, so the Secretary of State determines what race to, for the precinct?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, they wanted us to choose, they chose four races that we went through
And that
and
sheet
remarked.
should be
With the races?
yeah, which
Yes.
one?
And this goes with it, Franklin, I do believe. Am I right on that?
Yes, that's,
Okay.
yeah, that's the one that shows us where what we're supposed to count. So if you find Broadwater County, it says the US Representative, the Supreme Court, LR 126, and the House District 70 is all what we were supposed to count in precinct number 1. And then if that didn't come out to the quota which they give you, then we would have to go in and do 13 as well.
Okay.
But since we did come up with a
Everything come out
quota,
on that one.
yeah,
You're allowed to be 5 off from the machine, and we were 1 off, so.
Oh, nice. Excellent. Elaine was sorry to miss this part, of course, you know, this is her passion.
she's not feeling good.
It's not medical, she did have an emergency though, that she had to take care of. It's good to know about appointing somebody, if somebody can't be here, because, I think that's important.
Yeah. Yeah, and that just kind of tells you what the Secretary of State expects. And these first 2 pages are really kind of what we're doing today. We're doing the canvas, so we're doing the total number of voters, name of each individual on the ballot, or each ballot issue, number of voters received for each candidate, and the number of votes for and against each issue. Report generated from our machines and from users. Should both match. So,
I'm glad we do this. I think it's a good process.
Keep those.
Yes.
Do you want your paper clips, Joyce?
Please,
Oh, this was, we can keep this one.
Mhm. Yeah, keep that one, because that's where you're gonna put your numbers.
After the canvass, the board shall declare nominated or elected any person receiving the most votes in the adopted or rejected local ballot issues. We haven't done that either in the past, so that'll be good. Put that on the record.
And that would be just for our county type of thing. So, and when you do that, when we have the official canvas here that went into the state's system, and then we can print that off, that would be your canvas. And then, once you agree with everything that's happened here, we'll have you sign that.
All right.
And then that'll be, we'll compare, once we get this done, and then you get this page done, then we'll go ahead and compare the totals with this. And actually, we probably could compare, after you do this, we'll compare the totals here. And then you can go back and do these to make sure that those come out.
Okay, all right.
These are all the M100 tapes.
You might wanna come over here, just so that you can both look at the tapes at the same time, push that chair out of there, maybe it might be easier for you, I don't
We
know.
kind of marked what they are. This is the absentee tapes by precinct.
Okay,
This was our provisional ballot. This is just the provisional ballot. We had to zero out the tapes, so this is just all zeros.
okay,
These are all the numbers from the polls. They should match with the tape that's in the envelopes that the polls sent over.
Oh, you know what?
But this is the second tape. They usually run 2 tapes. They run one, and did we not bring those?
No, but here's, we can go through there, since he's on it down, but those other two,
They run 2 tapes, usually all our machines run 2 tapes. One of them is put in the envelope and sealed, and the other one we have to leave out so we can do our numbers. These are the ones that were left out.
if it is hard for you guys to hear or see, if you guys wanna come up here and sit closer to the table, you certainly can do that, we have some
Yeah,
extra chairs.
I'm not very loud. This is just another provisional tape. These 2 should be the same. This is election night when we ran our tapes. The first tape we ran on our absentees didn't split it by precinct, it just gave us a total of all votes, and that's what this is.
Okay.
So, I don't think this tape's gonna be a lot of use to you, other than you can check this tape with the absentee tape, and you'll see that there was 1,256 votes on each tape, so it's not that this tape was a mistake or anything, it just didn't give us what we needed to put into
Break
the
up the
system.
precincts.
Right. And I think that's the first time that's happened. I don't know, it just depends on how they do set up the card through ES&S. I think they must have set the card up to print that tape instead of this tape. But we have, on the machine, you have the capability of, after the first report runs, you have the capability of picking which report you want to run. So, doesn't change the numbers or anything, it just puts them in the precinct instead of,
Sure,
That
yeah,
total.
they're all the same,
right?
or zeros.
Well, yeah, the first tape should be all zeros to show you that the card is zeroed out, that we didn't put any votes
All zeros.
in before the election started.
You're saying there are 1,256
Absentee.
absentee ballots, is that?
That's without provisional ballots. And I think altogether we had 18 or 19 provisional.
No, okay, now the provisional. Clear me on the provisional again.
Provisional is someone that either can't verify their ID at the polling place, or on the last day of the election, if someone comes in to vote late, we have to put them as provisional if they've never voted before. Or if they voted in another county, we have to put them as provisional so we can check
That's what you do the
and
next
make
day.
sure they didn't vote in 2 counties.
That's what you do the next day.
Right, yeah. And it doesn't sound like a lot when you say 18 or 19, but it's a pretty lengthy process to put a new voter in the system. So when we had 18 or 19, that kept us busy pretty much all day long. That didn't give Joyce much time to clear and make her numbers were right. Yeah, it really, I wish, I don't know if that initiative passed, that it was on the ballot, I wish it would have, but it didn't get much publicity.
There's a lot of misunderstandings too.
There is, everybody thinks that you're taking away their right to vote, and you're not, you're just making it to where it's easier to prove that the voter who's voting is actually eligible to vote.
And who he is,
Yeah.
and that he didn't vote someplace else.
Right.
And out of those, the late registrants that came in on election day, we have 19 provisionals, some of those were at the polls. How many came in that didn't have to vote provisional on election day? Do you have any idea? Because if they're
A lot.
if they're a first-time voter, they don't
They
vote.
didn't have to.
Yeah, that's, I thought I had that. If they're a first-time voter, if they're never registered in the state of Montana, then they don't have to vote provisional. But if they have registered in another county, they do, because you have to check with that county and make sure they haven't voted twice.
Was this the error? Provisional total, is this the one that was the error? Not the error, but the one that you, that was the
No,
one.
that
Yeah.
was this one.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, there were two provisional tapes, or one, there should be like the same, I probably put two in the envelope. But those provisionals, provisionals aren't added into the poll book.
Okay.
And we count those the day after the election, so.
Then they're added after everything.
Right. Let's, we'll start with 7, because we've already done one, so we know that precinct 1 came out, and if you'll give them the numbers for precinct 1, unless you wanna look at them.
Do you wanna
Do you wanna look at the poll book?
Yeah,
And
that's,
at least look at the poll book and then, put the numbers in there,
Yeah.
from the tapes and stuff. 'Cause there's precinct 1.
And then
use
this
it
here.
as practice.
And then there's precinct 1.
Okay,
Thank you.
so
So that one is the polls.
that's
And
the poll.
what happened with the poll, at the polls, they're registered, I put in a binder so that they confirm. The binders you aren't given.
Which is still a good idea.
Yeah,
Binders.
well, and they could take it out, but I think and then put it in, but it's just mixed.
Okay, so the tape, do you want the tape first or the book first?
The tape is up on top,
Okay,
and the
Poll
poll
book
book
is on the
is
bottom.
down on the bottom.
So if you wanna read them off to him, maybe he can, then Franklin can go ahead. So these are the tapes, so if you wanna put tape right across the top there to help
Right,
you.
just right up here,
Yep.
tape.
Mhm.
it's 276.
And we're doing precinct 1,
Right
and we're
here.
doing the polls. So it's the second line down,
Oh, okay.
okay? So
This
put
is
276, she
What
said.
did she say, 276?
Mhm.
See, now that
Yes.
should be all of the,
Precincts at the polls.
did you take that out of the envelope?
Right here.
It was there, yeah, that should be all the precincts,
Okay,
and they should, they're.
And that's
Same
all your
number?
Up a
polls.
little farther there. She's got them kind of separated.
precinct 1 is 276 on this tape as well.
Okay, that is your polls.
Okay.
That's your second poll tape.
Okay,
Not, we took off all the zeros so you wouldn't have to unroll everything. So,
nice.
but
Yeah,
that's
it's a lot
totally up
easier.
to you what one you want to use.
I'll use them both. Just double check them. So, absentees went to 284.
Okay, start it, so not, you want to go to the very end.
Okay, we start at 285 then,
Yeah, I mean, really the only number you're interested in is that last one.
565.
So you're gonna write that down,
For precinct 1 on absentee.
no, that's not the absentee, that's the polls.
This is,
Precinct one, yeah, this is where we're gonna,
this is actually where we did the,
oh, you have to take
Um,
your 565 from your 284. Just a minute, Franklin.
And that's 281.
How do we do that? Take your I'm sorry, take your 276 from your 564. Take your 276 from your 564.
565
Okay.
minus 276, excuse me, is 289. Now, there's some spoiled
Okay.
in here, do those
If
get
we do the
subtracted?
289, it's gonna put us over, which we know we are over because of the white line, so. So in this,
we haven't counted the provisionals yet.
right. How did we get this? This isn't.
We had 565, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This is a new way of doing it, and so we're both sitting here, okay, how did we do that? Here's the polls, it was supposed to be 241, so what did you say it was? 565 from the,
Minus, was it 276, Franklin?
276.
276, all right, so it was 289 is the difference.
oh, this is absentees. This is the absentees, this is the polls, and we have 276 there. So this should be 282, what was it?
289.
Okay, so put that, let me do something right here for you, so we don't get messed up. I'm gonna put a P for polls and an A for absentee. And then if you want, you can put your 289 right there on that side.
289.
Okay. Okay, so then that's your precinct one.
Okay,
And then what you wanna do is take your absentees, you can put that poll book back in the poll book envelope.
on the tape?
Yeah,
All right.
you can use the tape later on that.
Yeah,
We have one to go in 5 days.
Okay.
You wanna just put this over here?
But this is the absentee precinct one.
Okay.
and then just take out, you know, just take out the poll book, you don't need to take everything else out.
Okay, good enough
Take
next
that,
time.
Yeah, yeah.
All right, so the poll book then,
On the very bottom, it tells you how many provisionals. Says 5P
oh,
or.
3
Okay,
provisionals.
3 provisionals, so you're
I
gonna
put
put
three.
that, yep,
3 right over here.
yes. Okay, and then, your 249 is gonna go right under the A.
Is that what it is, 2?
Yeah, I'm sorry, Laura.
See, there was 266 that were,
And then we minus the voids
Back.
and the undeliverables and everything out of it.
Precinct and reject, which
So
is
it gave us
17.
17, so then it's 249 is what the original is.
Okay, here's you for you, Franklin. Here's what totals the 17 that's subtracted from the 266 for 249.
Okay, how about right here, 249.
yeah, because with absentees, you get some that aren't returned, you get some that are voided, that they messed up their ballot and you have to give them a new one, and
And it takes up lines in the poll book. And so if you wanna know how many people or how many ballots in that poll book were actually accepted, you have to take away all of those undeliverables and all that, because you have to account for every ballot, and that's what we're doing there. But you don't wanna account for that when you're trying to figure out how many ballots were actually accepted.
Okay.
Okay, so that's just an
There is a,
explanation as to what is going on there and why we take them out. And what you're seeing there is the 9 undeliverables and the voids and, the rejected ones. That's what all those are. There's also the provisionals. And the ballots that are marked provisionals are in there as well.
So, do we figure out this total here now?
Can I ask what, is that still the first precinct or?
No, that's still precinct 1. Those are all the ballots not returned. They're just in
Okay,
there.
so
They're
they're
not
not-
really,
they don't
we don't
really
do anything with them because they were never put in the book.
okay.
They were just
Right.
left over, so you don't have to do anything with those.
And we used to count these in the past. That's
You
not-
used to,
you
yeah.
It's not
again, if you want,
necessary?
They should match these numbers here.
Okay,
Yeah, but no, it's not necessary anymore because we're matching the numbers, the poll book numbers at the end. And you'll see that this one
oh, I
has,
see what you're saying. You're putting the information in there as
In here.
duplicate.
yeah. And you'll
Okay.
see down at the bottom, it says 3,
Mm-hmm.
it says 252. Okay, there were, yellow secrecy envelopes that came in without white envelopes, so you didn't know who signed them. They were banded and marked, no white envelope. And I put them in the ballot box, because you're not allowed to have ballots sitting out. Well, they were counted and they went into the bag. And so you're gonna have an overage. So that's what that was 3.
Okay.
And so, I'm gonna be honest with you here, I don't know if we put 252 here with the 265, if that's what when we're gonna be 3 over, or if we need to use the 252 here. I don't know for sure, I'm sorry. Because we don't sit down and figure that out, but it will be in an explanation of why you're the 3 over.
Okay.
Okay?
It seems to
So if
me,
you're 6 over, you're gonna know, oops, we should have made that 252, you know?
it seems to me if somebody turns in their ballot without a signature, they are running the ability to make 2 votes.
Right.
So I would hope that wouldn't be included.
Right, it shouldn't have been included, but the people who were counting in the back didn't realize that. They didn't,
Sure.
you know, it was all marked and everything, they just didn't question it, they thought it was taken care of. And so that was my fault, I should have
But you
not
got
put
it
it in the
here.
ballot box, you know, I
Never.
should have not put it in the ballot box, I guess, and just found another place for it, so,
There weren't enough to change the
no, it
Sure.
wasn't,
outcome of
but-
any of the races. The closest race was the sheriff's race, and was it 80? I think they were.
Yeah, it was quite a
been a
number,
while
so it
since-
wouldn't have done anything,
Yeah.
but still.
But I feel good that you found it and you
Yeah.
pointed out here so that we're aware.
Right.
So, thank you for
We'll
that.
just have to change our procedure a little bit next year to make sure that, I mean, it just,
You learn something
you
every
don't
time you do
understand
it.
how hectic
Sure.
that last day is with all of those people coming in. I was running ballots for Joyce all day, and she was doing the,
Yeah, it was like being at the polls, basically.
Yeah.
You know, with
well,
the 2 of us working at it, it was,
plus the
you know,
computer
yeah,
added on, because they
Right.
bring in their card, you have to scan their card, you have to put it on the system, make sure they're not registered in any other county.
yeah, it's complicated,
Yeah,
it's long, and it takes some time. And when you have 12 people standing in line at once, it's a little hectic, but
Oh,
it
sure.
works, I mean, that's, you know, that's why that thing was on the ballot, try and have it the Friday before. It would have been so much better, because you just do it. You don't, you compare it to the Montana votes on the system, but you just do what you gotta do and get it done, and it gets a little hectic, but that's not any excuse.
We don't put anything for.
So, yeah, you can, if you want, you can total it across.
You're fine, you're fine.
Keep on forgetting what day it is.
So do we.
I wish I could forget.
289, 249,
541,
541.
541.
yeah, is that correct? 289 for the poll, 249 for absentee and 3 provisionals.
We
I
had,
have 4 provisionals.
remember, when we were looking this morning at our provisional, we were run over.
Yeah. That's
Well,
why
we
that
had,
was
that's
probably-
just the,
Oh, yeah, because I have the 3 right here. So, yeah, okay.
So
Yeah, as soon as it come out, okay, now then.
Well, it should be 531.
what did you come up with?
541.
541. Yeah, 'cause we came up with 531.
And what numbers do we use?
Numbers are right.
We use 252 and 276 is what, 252 is the absentees, 276 is the polls, and 4 is your provisionals.
So it's.
Where did we get the 289? Because that
Well,
was.
no, here's your 252 here. Okay, this is what your tape says. What does your tape say? Your tape says, should say 252.
That question. This is just the zeros.
I know, we went over that 276.
I know, we did. We went over it
Matched.
time and time.
The
So
polls
those numbers.
is the one you want, right?
Yeah,
So
probably.
here's your absentee number. Well, we use the 249. So, but your tape should say 252 for the absentees. For your absentees, because we were these 3.
Okay. I don't think there's a dispute on that number. I think the dispute is on the polls.
And the
Yeah.
poll book, in the poll book, it should have said 276.
And that's where our math got us at
That's-
289, right?
That's where you ended with 284, so you can prove that.
Precinct
And I
1
think the reboot is not having that right.
is 252 on the tape. You're correct.
How many spoiled
One
ballots?
spoiled.
Yeah. Two, three, four.
That would make sense. 4 provisionals, or 4 spoiled.
And one provisional.
So take your 265 minus 4.
Need 261.
What do we have?
And one provisional would be.
So they have, here, look, they had 276, 276 ballots came in and were voted.
And we didn't subtract out provisional or voided. Did we need to?
Mhm.
So that would have been 5 from the 265. Because here's your 265. So if you take 265 minus 1, 2, 3, 4, and then the 1 provisional, 5. So take 265 minus 5,
It's 260.
okay, it's 260. So then take the 260, give me a minute, I'm sorry. We're taking the 260 and the 284. because we had 284, that's where they started, was 284. You had to take your, we should have started with a different one. Okay, we have to take our absentees out of, take 260 plus your,
Minus 284.
no, we have to add, come up, coming up with the 5 on there. So go 260 with the, because they had 276, I don't know where they got their 276 from them. 265, 26, no, it's 560, I'm sorry, take the 565 minus your 260 gives you what?
305.
Why are you taking 260? You have to subtract that.
Well, it was supposed
You
to
have
come
to
out to
subtract the
285. It
absentees.
was supposed to come out to 284 because that's how many absentees we had.
When you subtract the 284
From 560,
from 565. Well,
gives you what?
they had 5, they had 1 provisional and 4
Right.
spoiled, so that
So
would
we have
make
to
it
minus it out of there.
560. 284, okay,
Okay, 560 minus 284 is the 276.
276,
And that's how many panels we had.
yeah.
There, that's how many, what did you just do? 560 minus 284.
Right.
There, that's where they came up with the 276.
So where'd we come up with the 284? Just walk me through that again.
That's
Oh, the
provisional
284.
ballots that were left in our office for the
Absentees.
absentees.
And they're
Okay,
in there marked unused.
so it was absentees plus provisionals equals 284, correct?
No.
No, we got 285.
Well, 284 was the total number of ballots we kept in my office for absentees
Okay,
before provisionals or late voting or anything. We had 284 ballots sitting on the counter in the back of, in the vault.
okay.
For
Right.
absentees, they were set aside for absentee voting.
So out of this
Understood, okay.
565, 284 were sitting in the vault,
Sure.
waiting to be mailed out for
Which
absentees.
you have
if
proof
people
right
come
here.
in late or whatever.
Okay,
Mhm.
Four of them were taken off for
because they were
spoiled
spoiled.
ballots, so they had to issue them a new ballot. And then one was provisional, which we put in a provisional envelope that we counted later.
Okay, so here's your 284. Okay, then you have to minus, it's not that hard, it's just when you sit down and do it. You have to minus your
Yeah.
spoiled, okay?
Because the spoils don't go through the
And your
voting machine.
provisionals.
Okay,
Yeah, your
And the
provisionals.
provisional doesn't go through the voting machine, they have to hand that to us, and we vote it the day after the election.
Just like what we did with the absentees. We did the same thing for the absentee. You took your poll book and you took your last number, you minused out all your provisionals and your voids, okay? And then that came up with your amount of 276.
okay,
Okay, we're not doing anything different with this than what we just did with our absentees.
right.
So we gotta change this.
So you have to change that to 276. That one,
polls.
no.
Yeah.
At the poll.
Yes, 276.
All
And
right,
at the end of the night, at each of the polls, the poll workers have to physically hand count all of their ballots and make sure that the amount of ballots match the number on their tape.
okay.
So, and that's what they're signing when they verify this, that, yeah, we had 276 ballots in the machine, and we had 276 on
So
our
if
tape.
you look on that tape, right there.
This one. No,
If
this
you
is
wanna look on that one if you
absentees.
want.
So you're
See-
talking the polling tape, which I
Right.
put back in the
What you put
envelope.
in here.
And this one matched it also at 276.
Yes, okay. So all of these here, these numbers that are here, they should all match your tapes.
All right.
Okay, these up here should match your tapes. Okay, and this should match your tape, and this should match your poll book.
And then the total we have is 528. Yeah, 528, is that correct?
Yeah.
All right.
Because, did you add the provisionals on it?
Yep.
Okay, and then that would be short because it should be 520, 531, that's those 20.
That
See,
makes
if we
sense.
added those, you know, what did you say, 58?
528. Yeah,
So-
there's three different.
Yeah, so
Okay.
that's what it is, okay, that's the way in.
All right,
Okay,
all right. Clear as mud.
Okay,
Yeah.
What's the number again now,
28.
528,
yeah, so what you're doing here is you're gonna put your absentee number of,
249.
up here on the
Yeah.
tape, it was 252.
Okay, so put the 252 up here.
Yes, because this is your tape,
Mhm.
okay? And then your provisionals, you had 3 provisionals.
You've got, we must, I bet we had 3,
So here's 3
we'll
provisionals.
see when we get to the provisional tape.
Yeah, and then if you add that all up, the total is 528.
528.
That one is
Yeah.
actually
And-
531 because it's the 252 to start
Okay,
on the tape.
oh, yeah, here would be 531 here, right? When you
Yeah.
add this up?
Yep.
Okay, so your total is 531 at the
Put
bottom,
that right,
at the
right down
very
here.
bottom, yeah,
531.
okay. And then when you add it across down there, if you add it across, okay, we're gonna be off down at the bottom.
By
Because, by 3, because, of those 3 white envelopes that I was telling you about. So 249, 276, I don't know what,
that
528.
Okay,
Yep.
528.
Would you like to see the numbers just placed?
Nope, I think I got it. I will put this guy back though. And then get one back to you.
We had 3 provisionals and 1, and I think we were counting 3 absentees and 1 at the polls. That's why we had, when we counted them,
Okay.
one
So that's
extra
precinct
provisional,
one.
we were wondering where that came from. And this just answered it.
Oh, okay.
Precinct 7 should come out so much easier.
All right.
Okay, that's one more than that, right?
Those are your poll dates.
7, these are.
Precinct 7
This is the
judges,
ballot book.
what they did was they put their seal on their ballot, the tin can, which is why I'm just.
Okay. Need a bigger table. All right, so the tape, first off, reads 241. And this tape reads precinct 7, 241. So the 2 tapes match.
So that's the total of 241.
That's the poll.
Yeah.
Go ahead and write that 241 down
Yes.
now.
And then we have, the last number in the book is 483.
See, and we didn't subtract any of the spoils out, so that's why we used to do that. It's good.
Not subtracting, so there's 3.
Everything that's not accepted, you subtract. So any of your spoiled, any of your voids or your provisionals, if it says provisional on there,
1, 2, 3 for a void. So minus 3. And then the first number is 240, so minus 239, correct? Comes out to 241,
and that's what your tape came out to,
yes.
was 241.
And that's for absentees for precinct 7, is 240.
No, that's the
Polls.
That's the
polls.
polls. Thank you.
That's the polls.
All right.
Okay, Franklin, go down to the bottom part, and on the polls, put your 240 in.
Let me put that
Yeah,
up.
thanks Doug.
There's the absentees.
Just the book. So the book goes to number 220 with 4 voids, 3 wrong precincts, 6 undeliverables for 13, so 207 total
Right, so that's your 207 is your total, so then,
for the absentees.
so on the bottom, go on the bottom, that would be your bottom number of 207. Mhm. And then you check your tape. and
There's
you-
the top number
Well, check the tape, make sure it
Precinct
works out.
7 is 207 on the tape.
All right, perfect.
And we subtracted the provisionals already. Do we still put those?
5 provisionals have to go in on this one, on the bottom, and then
Yeah, because you're
you
subtracting.
have to put your
from-
provisional on both
From
places.
the number of
And I put
ballots.
5 up here
then
too.
you have to add them in for the
Uh-huh.
number that was voted. When this is the provisional tape, if you know, but I don't know.
I didn't subtract the provisionals out of the poll books. I didn't do anything in the poll book with the provisionals.
Okay,
So they have not, I just marked them in there that there were 5, so you could pull the provisional out, or the book out and see that there were 5 provisionals, and then you match your tape with that, your provisional tape with the 5, and then it comes out.
That's,
okay.
the absentees, the provisionals aren't added into the poll book.
Because they're counted
where
later.
With the,
Sure.
at the polls, they are added in. Well, just- He's just have to deal with them in different ways, in different places.
And that's, so for precinct 7, the 2, the top number and the bottom number didn't match, because everything was exactly the same.
Yes,
What we got
exactly.
for the total then?
Do you want the
Total?
provisional tape now, or do you wanna
Yeah,
hold off on that? Because this is the provisional tape.
That
This
is-
is precinct one, just showing you that there were 3
3,
provisionals in precinct one.
precinct 7 is
Seven.
5. Okay, so then the total is 453. Is that correct?
Yep.
All right,
Okay, so we put 453 down here.
Yes, sir. And put it down the bottom as well, across the bottom.
Down here.
Yeah.
yeah, no kidding.
And when there's no complications.
Well, the first one, it does take a little while to get acclimated to how
Yeah.
into the numbers. I want to go.
This is precinct 11.
11, that's the polls.
All right.
Should have brought your paper cutter, I'm sorry, and then we'll open it.
I should have thought of that as well. Alright, there's that. Precinct 7 has
Oh,
280.
precinct 11.
11.
Thank you. 282.
And that's the polls, 282.
And we have
Yes, that's the number you write down.
592 is the final number.
Right here, right here,
282 right
because
here.
she took it, yeah, she just took it right off the tape.
1 provisional.
Okay, 1 provisional.
And then our first number is on 310, so minus 309 for 282. Matches the tape.
So we wanna go down the bottom.
Put it there.
And precinct 11, you're gonna write your,
See the polls is 282. 282.
mhm,
Gradle, let's see with the one there now.
mhm.
back to the way we did this before, if that's easier for you guys.
No, we're swimming through this now. I should double check the tape, though, shouldn't I?
Yeah, what does your tape say, or
11 is 282.
And there's the absentees.
what,
Just book. Thanks, Bud. All right, so it ends on 284, minus 3 voids, 2 rejected, 2 duplicates, 1 undeliverable for a total of 8, which is 276. And the tape is this one, sorry, and it is for precinct 11, 274.
yeah. My poll book
Was that-
came out over, the absentee poll book came out over what the tape said. I don't know why. We counted all the ballots, came out to the 276.
The
We
only-
don't know if, go ahead, I'm sorry.
The only thing I can figure on that one is, in the back room, when they're running the ballots through, we set them up in groups of 25, and they feed them through the machine. If the person that's pulling out of the back of the machine pulls it before the machine counts it, it doesn't count it. All I can think of is maybe that happened twice, which is a possibility. It happens. Right? That's the only way you can be under. Joyce and I sat down and hand counted each one of these ballots, and there are 276 ballots.
Okay.
So, the only, and I don't think it would have happened this way, but the only other possibilities we had, what did we have, about 16 that the machine wouldn't take, that we finally ended up duplicating the ballots, just so we could get a ballot that would go through the machine. But we had numerous people there watching while we did it, and we kept copies of each of them stapled together. If maybe we somehow missed 2 doing that, I don't think we did, but somewhere we got 2 off on that.
And if there were an election that was one off, you would do a hand count of every single ballot, so just a difference of 2 is within the margin of error that's.
Right, yeah.
So were you 276 here then? Or 274?
Absentees, 276. Well, we used in our sheet, we used 274. For the tapes, that's tape, so 274.
Tape, okay, tape.
Tape is 274. Down on the bottom, the polls, the absentees
the-
is 276.
We did one in one place and one in the
Yeah,
other.
we did, but we knew we were gonna be off.
Yeah.
We were showing that, that's what we did, because that's how it is. In the poll book, it was the 276, and in the tapes, it was the 274.
Yep.
And precinct 11 provisionals is 4.
4. We had 1.
One at the polls, 4 altogether. So put a 4 there instead of
See,
a
there
1.
was one at the polls.
She read the
3 at
tape for the,
precincts.
right.
Okay, so this should be a 4 then instead of 1. Is anything down here then?
Yes,
So the top number should be 560,
right,
and the bottom number 562.
right,
560
right.
here. 562 is
Yeah, right
here.
next to the 4, yeah, perfect.
Thank you.
This is the one from polls. It's
they
not
have
quite
the
a
books
big
in there.
precinct.
Excuse me, where's that from?
This one is, actually, it's 13,
So that would be tossed.
so we skipped one.
Okay.
This one says 12.
And we can come back with this one if you want. 13.
It's up to you guys.
Okay, 13. And the tape for the polls is 202. And for 13 matches the tape of
That's right.
202.
Okay, so 202 is right here.
Mhm.
And the last number is 527 minus 1 spoiled is just 1. Is 1. And the first number is 325. So 201. Oh, there's a voted absentee stamped on 324, should I count that one? Okay. So that one is 201.
And is that one that looks like it's spoiled, did they cross out the spoil?
We crossed out the name, but they left spoiled. Want me to do the math again? 527 minus just the 1. And then the number I subtract here is 325. 324 because of the, I bet that'll be the difference. 202. All right.
Oh, so I'm gonna put 202 down here.
That goes back to
Sure,
you
so
with that
202
guy.
down here, 13 now.
For the polls.
And that's
Okay, the last number is 281 minus 9 voids, 4 undeliverables, 3 duplicates or wrong precinct, and 6 rejected, for a total of 259.
That's the poll book, so that'll be down on your bottom, next to it, 259.
Right here, 259. Don't leave it there. Actually, right here, 259.
Oh, these are the provisionals, sorry. 13 is 259. All right.
So then up here in your tapes, you
I
can
can
put
put
259
259
and 13. Mhm.
And then the provisionals in 13 or 1?
Okay, so we put a 1 here now, huh?
Yep.
And 1, where's the 1?
You just go
Do we
over.
carry it on out?
Yeah, please do, sorry. Thank you.
And then he has 259 plus 202 plus 1 equals 462.
That's what you have there.
I don't think let's see. Yep, I had 460. Yeah.
So 462 is correct all the way around.
Yeah. So far. That's it, and so.
And now precinct 12.
From the polls.
Okay, with the book, nice. Is it okay that I read the signatures?
Yep.
I'm trying to be very careful.
No, that's just for you guys to see.
Things stuck inside.
All right. The tape is 307 take for 12. This is really smart, even though I've made it a mess, it's really smart. This tape reads 307 master tape.
It's hard not to make it a mess when.
That's the polls.
And the last number is 597 minus 1 void. And the first name is on 290, so minus 290. Oops. 289 is what I subtract.
Yeah,
Okay, 289.
yeah, because you're subtracting the number that we
Set aside.
set aside.
Okay. So 597 minus 1 minus 289 is 307.
And that was your absentees, right?
Yes.
Okay,
No,
so-
That was the
this is the
Oh,
votes.
okay.
So, there we go, change that. Okay, the last number. The last number is 278 minus 7 voids, 2 rejected, 3 undeliverable, 2 off precinct and duplicate, for a total of 14. 278 minus 14 is 264. According to our tape, precinct 12 is 264.
That's absentee.
And there's that guy. And provisionals for 12. So 11. Precinct 12 is 5. So the math is 264 plus 307 plus 576. All right. Thank you.
Then if you had this column and this column.
Yeah, you're gonna, right, you're gonna add them across, and then you'll add these across, and then add that across, and your total should all equal what it's supposed to be.
So 252 plus 207 plus 274 plus 264 plus 259 is 1256.
Right.
That came out, you guys do? 1256.
And then
Two.
276, thanks. 241, 282, 307, 202 equals 1308. Provisionals is 3 plus 5 plus 4 plus 5 plus 1, 18.
Mhm.
And going across, it's 531, plus 453, plus 560, plus 576, plus 462 is 2582.
Mhm. And then if you add down, it should come out to 2582 as well.
2582. Right.
Okay, now, this is their official canvas. These are the votes that we put in by the tapes the night of the election,
Okay.
okay? If you'll take the number you just added up, it goes by precinct. Okay, so up here, we're looking at the tapes. If you compare them,
Okay, so precinct number 1, votes cast is 531. Precinct number 11, the votes cast is 560. Precinct,
11, precinct 11.
Yeah.
Okay.
precinct 12, the votes cast was 576. Precinct 13, 462. And precinct number 7 is 453. For a total of 2582.
Okay, so that came out.
All right.
So then,
Do you want the bottom of the poll book total too, or just
you
the?
can, yes.
Okay. It's 276 plus, and that'll be slightly different.
Correct.
So that's 1308.
Oh, I'm sorry, Franklin, there you go.
You said 13 right here.
$12.55, that's for absentees.
1255.
18 for provisionals. $25.81 was the total. But just one different. And that would be because of that, the 2 in 11 and then the 1
What is the
One.
other total here? I think I must have, I got 1255, what's the other
in
total?
1308.
And then 18, all the way
Got
down.
18 over here. I guess I could add it here. And what was the final one would be?
25.80.
Okay. So then this, the next thing is, hold on to that for a minute. The next thing is then you need to take, not this yet. So you know that your totals came out to the canvas, okay?
Yes.
All right, so then the next thing you have to do is this sheet that we
Okay.
gave you. Did you get one more?
Yes.
Okay. And then what you do with this is you're gonna take your tape and you're gonna go across. And if, you know, one of you wanna write while the other one reads, however you wanna do that, since we're short to one. You go across and you say, okay, in precinct 1, and it might be best to use, yeah, here's the absentee, here's the provisional, so this is your polls, this is your
Okay.
poll tape. You'll take your poll tape and you'll go to Amanda, and you say, okay, in precinct 1, Amanda got a total of 71. So then
Okay.
you're gonna put 71 in here, and then you'll do,
Provisional.
no, this is gonna be, this is your polls right here, all of these are gonna be your polls.
How come mine's on the other end here?
Okay, watch.
Oh,
This
okay.
is all your polls, That's what these will be. And then we'll go to the absentee tape and we'll put down all the absentee. We can't do absentees, because we don't know absentees, so it's not,
By precinct?
yeah, but we don't know individuals. All we know is the polls. We really don't know the individual, what they voted individually for, do we?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway, then we'll go absentees and then we'll go provisionals. Okay, so right now, we're gonna go across here and we're gonna do the polls,
Okay,
okay? So you're gonna start, just a minute, you'll start right here. This isn't absentees, this is the polls.
so precinct 1, Amanda Curtis, 71.
Okay, so I'll put 71 right here.
Correct.
Steve Daines, 196. Roger Roots, 5. And I don't need anything with the undervotes or anything, just what they're asking for, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so United States Representative Mike Fellows, 9. John Lewis, 71. Ryan Zinke, 195. For Supreme Court, Justice number 1, Jim Rice, 195. W. David Herbert, 50. And write-in 2. Do we do
We
anything?
don't have any
We
other
didn't
writers.
have
I
any
didn't put
official
anything
write-ins.
for the
Okay.
write-in,
So-
no, but I didn't even put any in the
Mhm.
system at all.
Probably Mickey Mouse.
Probably. Okay, Supreme Court Justice number 2, Mike Wheat, 126. Lawrence Van Dyke, 129. District Court Judge, District 1, Department 3. Yes, 202. No, 44. State Representative, 70. Kelly Flynn, 205. Marla Clark, 62. Constitutional Amendment, number 45. Yes, 126. No, 139. Legislative Referendum, number 126. Yes, 146. No, 124. County Commissioner, District 1, Laura Obert, 153. Tim Ravendall, 110. Clerk and Recorder, Doug Ellis, 231. County Sheriff, Brenda Ludwig, 156. Marvin Reddick, 116. County Attorney, Jack Morris, 62. Corey Swanson, 189. Justice of the Peace, Kirk Flynn, 157. Cal James, 93. So precinct number 7. United States Senator Amanda Curtis, 74. Steve Daines, 163. Roger Roots, 3. United States Representative Mike Fellows, 7. John Lewis, 74. Ryan Zinke, 157. Supreme Court Justice number 1, Jim Rice, 161. W. David Herbert, 41. Supreme Court Justice number 2, Mike Wheat, 113. Lawrence Van Dyke, 104. District Judge, District 1, Department 3, yes, 180. No, 35. State Representative 70, Kelly Flynn, 180, Marla Clark, 56. Constitutional Amendment 45, yes, 112, no, 112. Legislative Referendum 126, yes, 116, no, 117. County Commissioner District 1, Laura Obert, 147, Tim Ravendall, 80. Clerk and Recorder Treasurer Doug Ellis, 207. Sheriff Coroner Brenda Ludwig, 99. Marvin Reddick, 140. County Attorney Jack Morris, 54. Corey Swanson, 169. Justice of the Peace Kirk Flynn, 117. Cal James, 108. So, precinct 11. Precinct 11. All right. United States Senator.
You can just take those other two off if it's easier for you to talk to.
Actually, it's easier to keep them together.
Okay.
United States Senator Amanda Curtis, 51. Steve Daines, 222. Roger Roots, 7. It was just blocking the one particular race. United States Representative Mike Fellows, 1. John Lewis, 59. Ryan Zinke, 219. Supreme Court Justice number 1, Jim Rice, 184. Herbert, 61. Supreme Court Justice number 2, Mike Wheat, 109. Lawrence Van Dyke, 146. District Court Judge, District 1, Department 3, yes, 198, no, 47. State Representative 70, Kelly Flynn, 219. Marla Clark, 55. Constitutional Amendment number 45, yes, 112, no, 148. Legislative Referendum number 126, yes, 148, no, 118. County Commissioner District 1, Laura Obert, 141. Tim Ravendall, 121. Clerk and Recorder Treasurer Doug Ellis, 237. Sheriff Brenda Ludwig, 141. Marvin Reddick, 136. County Attorney Jack Morris, 34. Corey Swanson, 218. Justice of the Peace Kirk Flynn, 159. Cal James, 112. Precinct 12, United States Senator Amanda Curtis, 77. Steve Daines, 222. Roger Roots, 7. United States Representative Mike Fellows, 13. John Lewis, 82. Ryan Zinke, 205. Supreme Court Justice number 1, Jim Rice, 219. W. David Herbert, 49. Supreme Court Justice number 2, Mike Wheat, 131. Lawrence Van Dyke, 148. District Court Judge, District 1, Department 3, yes, 216. No, 52. State Representative District 70, Kelly Flynn, 240. Marla Clark, 62. Constitutional amendment number 45, yes, 134, no, 159. Legislative referendum number 126, yes, 154, no, 144. County Commissioner, District 1, Laura Obert, 181. Tim Ravendall, 102. Clerk and Recorder Treasurer, Doug Ellis, 267. Sheriff, Brenda Ludwig, 149. Marvin Reddick, 154. Broadwater County Attorney, Jack Morris, 53. Corey Swanson, 235. Justice of the Peace, Kirk Flynn, 189. Cal James, 112. Last, precinct 13, United States Senator Amanda Curtis, 23. Steve Daines, 173. Roger Roots, 5. United States Representative Mike Fellows, 8. John Lewis, 27. Ryan Zinke, 165. Supreme Court Justice number 1, Jim Rice, 121. W. David Herbert, 42. Supreme Court Justice number 2, Mike Wheat, 68. Lawrence Van Dyke, 111. District Court Judge, District 1, Department 3, yes, 127. No, just 47.
Let's go back again now.
District Court Judge, District 1, Department 3, yes, 127.
Okay.
No, 47.
Okay.
State Representative 70, Kelly Flynn, 176, Marla Clark, 23. Constitutional Amendment 45, yes, 67, no, 112. Legislative Referendum number 126, yes, 99, no, 90. County Commissioner, District 1, Laura Obert, 64. Tim Ravendall, 121. Clerk and Recorder Treasurer, Doug Ellis, 160. Sheriff, Brenda Ludwig, 110. Marvin Reddick, 83. Broadwater County Attorney, Jack Morris, 42. Corey Swanson, 130. Justice of the Peace, Kirk Flynn, 136. Cal James, 49. Thank you, Doug. Whoops. And this one would be absentees. Same thing, right?
Upside down, yep.
Alright. You know what? I'll start at the bottom here. We'll start with precinct 13. United States Senator Amanda Curtis, 48. Steve Daines, 200. Roger Root, 7. Representative.
Wait.
This is precinct 13.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
But she-
Yeah,
she
I
says
didn't
absent.
put a.
so we need to just
So-
take a scratch piece of paper and add them,
Either
right?
that, or,
Oh, is that
I'm
just
sorry,
totals?
we can put a slash.
Is
I'm sorry, I didn't,
a total absentee tape.
yeah.
That'll work.
we can do that.
Um,
We won't go by precinct, but it'll give you the
Okay.
total of absentees.
So we're just,
Here,
Perfect. Thank you. I'll trade Jack. All right, I'm going to start on 13 again, just for easy reading, if that's okay.
well, you won't have the
Oh,
13
yeah.
now, you'll just have
The totals.
totals. Exactly.
Right, just at the bottom here. All right, so total absentees, Senator Amanda Curtis, 302. Steve Daines, 9.